You want to move on to the next question?
Yeah. That would be yours, right?
Yeah. So, here's my question. Do you think that light-skinned women have it better than dark-skinned women?
No.
Mm-hmm. That's it? You know,
I know. Can you elaborate?
No. I think that dark-skinned women had the best pussy when you break it down. Yo,
Kareem, that's
wait,
not what
let me just finish. What? Can I finish? That's one thing that a guy looks at. Dark-skinned women are more, I believe, more caring, they're more understanding than a lot of the light-skinned women. A lot of light-skinned women, they think that they're so pretty, so you gotta deal with a lot of superficial bullshit. Where a dark-skinned woman is more down to earth. She's more in the trenches with you. You know what I mean? She'll get her hands dirty. Where some light-skinned chicks, not all light-skinned chicks, but some light-skinned chicks will be like, oh, I'm too pretty for that. Like, you want to tell them, go kill yourself. That's just now, don't get me wrong, a bad chick is a bad chick. It's bad light-skinned chicks, it's bad dark-skinned chicks, it's bad white chicks, it's bad Asian chicks. A bad chick is a bad chick, but I just think that dark-skinned chicks, they give you that extra that you really don't find anywhere else.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that a surprising answer?
No. I was watching. That's funny you asked that, Soncerae, because Oprah had. Sorry, I watched the Oprah Network a lot. She had. They were discussing. Her and Ayanla were discussing it last night, and they had people up there who were discussing, dark skin versus light skin amongst black women. And I mean, it would be foolish to say that lighter skinned women don't have certain privileges that maybe somebody who was darker doesn't have. But I mean, as a lighter skinned person, you have to acknowledge that. And I do agree with you, Kareem, that a lot of, not all, of course, but a lot of light-skinned women feel like they're better than darker-skinned women just because, a lot of black men put light-skinned women on a pedestal. When you turn on the TV, all you see as a representation of black women are light-skinned women. When you look in a magazine, a lot of what you see is lighter-skinned women. So, I don't want to say you can't blame some of these women, but, these men are putting you on a pedestal, so obviously a lot of them act accordingly and feel like, oh, I'm prettier than or I'm better than XYZ. So, a lot of black men that I've met are like, say to me that they're surprised at how, like, I'm just like a really goofy person, and they're just surprised at how, like, goofy and down to earth I am, because a lot of people just see a lighter skinned woman and think, oh, she's going to be stuck up. But a lot of light skinned women are stuck up and have this air about them, like they think they're better than, or they act like they're better than other black women. So, I mean, but I do think, Soncerae, there's a lot of privilege that lighter skinned women have and don't acknowledge. And they like to say, well, we're all black, we're all equal. Yeah, that's true. At the end of the day, when a white person looks at us, they don't know light skin. We're all black to them, but there are certain privileges that lighter skinned people have that darker skinned people don't have.
Also, another thing is that brown skinned chicks don't give you no problems like light skinned chicks give you. Like, light skinned chicks give you, like, problems. From my experience,
you don't find that what you're saying is stereotypical at all? Like,
not all.
I can only tell you from my experience, though. Like, it ain't about stereotypes; it's about my experiences, And like, I've had a lot of problems with light skinned chicks, and more the brown skinned chicks I've had, they haven't given me no problems. They were really cool, down to earth. The type of chick that you can take to an elegant dinner, and then you'll go home, change clothes, and then go to the strip club and just a really, really, really good friend. Now, you a really, really somebody that you're just not calling your lover, but your friend as well. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't think I've had that a lot of times with a lot of light skinned chicks. That's just my experience. Maybe somebody else's experience would be different. You know?
Well, the reason why I asked the question was because, of course, Jay Nice is a light-skinned woman, and I'm considered like a darker-skinned woman, and it would just been a good conversation to
Brown skin. I
talk,
wouldn't call you
talk
dark
about.
skin.
Huh?
Right? Kareem, I would Soncerae, you look brown to me, not dark.
Well,
I don't think there's a difference. I think it's brown skin and light skin. Jay Nice, you light
No,
skin?
I think there's brown skin, there's caramel, which I think is what Soncerae is, and then there's darker like India Ari.
oh, okay, I see what you mean, but that's not what people know. People still make fun of me as if yeah, I see what you're saying though. But people make fun of me as if I'm like midnight. You know what I'm saying? They talk to me, and even on YouTube, I get it all the time. I just recently had to disable my likes and make it to where I can only people can comment, and I have to approve it first because people kept talking about my skin color, my race, and you black bitch and you dark skin ugly this, and this is what I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So it was easier to answer this question. Now, when I was inside of the modeling industry, even the photographers would choose lighter skin models because the lighter skin models were easier to Photoshop and easier when you put light on their skin. That artificial light just bounces and glows right off. But darker skin is kind of harder to deal with when it comes to photography. So I've been going through the dark skin, light skin thing for so long. And when I'm watching these rappers who they having kids by, every rapper having a kid by half breed, you know what I'm saying? And I was just
Mhm.
wondering really how men really, really feel like this. What do people really think about this, and where does this actually come from? Because to me, I have no idea where this is rooted from. I think there are some beautiful brown skin, dark skinned women. Even India Ari is a beautiful woman. Kelly Rowland is a beautiful woman.
Mhm.
Lauren Hill, beautiful woman. So it's like, where do you guys think that stem from?
I don't know. I think it's just a matter of how what society is doing and how society projects things. I don't know if it's necessarily. I think person by person case. You know what I mean? Some people prefer light skinned dudes, light skinned chicks. Some dudes prefer, brown skinned chicks. I think
I think more
it goes back to preference. You know what I mean?
I think more dudes prefer light skin chicks. When I hear dudes talk, I mean, I've been like at the gym and could like hear a group of guys talking, and they just love light skinned women. I swear, they love light skin. Remember Lil Wayne? That bitch look better red.
Well, Lil Wayne has some issue. I don't know what it is, but I mean, because Toya was gorgeous to me. I don't
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah,
mean.
she was a
He should have
bad chick.
stuck with Toya. She's gorgeous to me. I guess she's brown to me, but I guess some people consider her darker skin. But I don't know what his obsession with these like light skinned and non-black women is, to the point where you don't even want to have children with a darker skinned woman anymore. It's just like weird to me. But I don't know. I think it's just men want to have. I think it's more so like, oh, if I get a lighter skinned or a mixed or an exotic woman, my kids will turn out with good hair and this and that. Like that's the misconception that a lot of men have, because I feel like a lot of men are like, oh, if I have a baby with XYZ, I'll have cute kids and this and that. So I've heard a lot of men say that, but I don't really understand why men are so fascinated by, not only light skinned women, but by foreign women.
Yeah.
I don't know if guys really think that deep into how the kid's gonna look. I know that wasn't the case for me. Now my daughter's mixed, so but that wasn't the case for
Her
me.
mother is what?
White, black, and Cherokee Indian, I believe.
Hmm.
Well,
Interesting.
I'm surprised that we're having this conversation and you have a mixed child, and I just feel like you need to give me some more input.
Input on what?
I just want to understand, like, dude, you said light skinned chicks are more, they're high maintenance. Do you
Yeah.
feel like your daughter's mom is like that? If you want to get into that, I know that's a private question, but do you mind answering?
I think she might be a little bit high maintenance, yeah. More difficult to deal with, yeah.
You don't think that has anything to do with simply just her personality, not her skin color?
I think it's all of the above. I don't think it's one different thing. I think it's all of the above. But when you ask me for my my experience, you know, the light skin women I had, the Caucasian women I had was very difficult to deal with versus the brown skin chicks I had.
I'm surprised at that. A lot of people say that white women are like easier to deal with. They're better in relationships and
Not all
easier.
the time. Not all the time. There are some that are out there.
A lot of them are just very submissive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little submissive with it. I
Huh?
get walked over sometimes because of my little submission problems. Like I'm like too nice, you know. I'm like, baby, what do you want to eat or drink? You want your foot rubbed? And I have to stop that. I think that's bad. But okay, all right, Kareem, you got a question?
So why do women cry victim when they get maybe like a guy hits them after they have either hit the guy or after they have done something to the point to make the guy react in a violent manner? Why do women always cry victim when in actual reality they started the fire, but they're saying that why is the fire burning? If you didn't light the fire, then the fire wouldn't burn. You didn't set the cloth on fire. So why is that? Why do women think that it's okay to hit a man and then it's wrong for the man to hit them back?
Well, I don't think a woman should ever hit a man. I don't really think that that's ever a good idea. I don't condone violence. I know people have bad tempers and sometimes things just happen, but to me, if you're like hitting a man and you take him to that point where, some men just react. Some men can't control, oh, you're a woman. If you hit them, their first instinct is to react, so I just feel like if you are, if you are, if you're doing something to somebody, for every action there's going to be a reaction. So you have to kind of understand that you can't hit a man you can't push him to that level without expecting him to react. Now that doesn't, condone him hitting you at all, but you can't push somebody to a certain level without expecting them to react.
Yeah, and let me put this disclaimer. I'm not saying it's okay to beat your chick or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But I think sometimes some of these women, they buy the ass whooping that they get, but then they cry victim. And I personally think that's not fair.
Do you have an example of a woman you can think of?
The chick on the bus. The chick, like that was a hell of a sucker punch. That was nice. But at the end of the day, like, you spit on this man and hit this man.
Yeah.
But then you got sucker punched. And then the thing that killed me is they're going to say, well, why he used that much force to hit her. Well, how do you know how much force she used the hawk spit in his face? Like, that's an assault. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we as people, we try to justify the bullshit. The bullshit is that she hit him, he hit her back, he defended himself.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if he's stronger or she's weaker, society says don't put your hands on people. Where I was raised, if somebody hits you, you hit them back. I know girls that was knocking dudes the fuck out. So where I'm from, the dudes be knocking the chicks out because if you don't knock out, best believe she gonna knock you the fuck out. That's just how it was in the environment that I came up in, you know. But it's just you hear so many times. You hear people saying you shouldn't hit a woman, you should hit a woman, you shouldn't hit a woman. But when is the conversations going to start saying women shouldn't hit men to get hit in the first place? Does that make sense?
Well, most people know because I had a very public relationship in like 2010, and he smashed my head into the driver's side window of my truck, and I hit him first. And I was thinking to myself, did this nigga really just hit me back? But I remember thinking, what was fueling me to make me hit him in the first place? Because it wasn't like I just, he was like poking the mama bear. But I was like, you got 2 minutes. I'm telling you, I'm almost there. And I kept saying, dude, you taking me to 10. I need you to just relax because you taking me there. And he took me there, and I slapped him, and then he smashed my head. And so I guess it's a case-to-case basis because I still feel like for some reason I'm a victim of a situation. Because, number one, this man is linebacker size, and here I am, this itty-bitty, fun-size Snickers bar, about 5 feet tall, and I'm getting my head smashed into the driver's side. So some men need to understand how much power they have. Like some men just too big. You just don't need to be hitting anybody unless they eye to eye with you. You know what I'm saying? They toe to toe with you. Now I don't condone even smacking the guy, but what else could I do if he like at me? Like what else am I supposed to do? If I'm asking a man to leave, if I'm asking you to step back and fall back, what else am I supposed to do? I got to defend myself just how a man has to defend himself, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm getting disrespected in my own damn vehicle. Okay, my motherfucking vehicle. He in here talking to me all crazy, calling me out my name and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think everybody wants to protect themselves. Now then you got those women that let's pretend for 2 minutes I slapped him, right? And then I slapped him again. He ain't hit me back, and I slapped him again. And then I'm slapping him again. And then I'm pushing him, and I'm shoving him. And then I spit on him. And all that stuff, that's too much. You deserve to get your ass beat as a woman if you going that far. Now, I might slap a man to slap some sense into him and be like, listen, you need to fall back before we really be toe-to-toe with each other. But in Atlanta, like the law in Atlanta is both of y'all going to jail. They don't care who hit who first. So I think with society, I guess it just depends on where you are and the situation, but I don't think it's okay for anybody to hit anybody, and I don't think it's okay for anybody to hit someone with their words, because a lot of people, when you love somebody or you're having an argument with somebody and that person is saying something to you, it hurt worse than if a stranger was to walk up to you and say, hey, bitch, suck some dick. You know what I'm saying? It's different. So, I don't know. I just feel like nobody's supposed to hit anybody, but sometimes people take you there, men and women.
Yeah.
Guess that makes sense. I guess the reason why I asked that question is because I just wanted to get the mindset of women when they put their head. I heard a lot of women say, "Oh, I hit him, but I ain't as strong as him. That hit ain't gonna hurt him." How do you justify it? It's still a hit. Okay. You know what I mean? Huh?
That's still not okay to hit anybody. You can't control a man, like a man that big, like your ex Soncerae, who's that big, and you kind of, men I know just sometimes just react without even thinking, and then they're like, oh my God, what did I just do? I can only imagine how hard it is if you're that big and you have anger issues, or you just react. You're trained to just react, and somebody hits you, and you don't think who it is, you just react. And I mean, society will always treat the man worse than the woman because a man has strength and is supposed to be able to control himself. But how can you really control yourself when someone is attacking you?
Yeah. So, your turn, Jack.
Oh, Um, so I asked you this question the other day, Kareem, but I'm gonna ask it again because I want to hear your guys' point of view. But so are hoes really winning nowadays? Because I feel like they are. Like men are wifing up these women who used to be whatever. A lot of women who had questionable past, and they say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but clearly that's wrong if all these women, if all these so-called hoes are being wifed up.
To me, to me, it's logical to turn a hoe into a housewife than it is to try to turn a housewife into a hoe. Because a hoe is just a hoe. You know what I'm saying? She likes to fuck. So if you're trying to make a good girl turn into that, that's illogical to me. If you want a hoe, you know how some men say, I want a lady in the street and a freak in the bed. Sometimes that's kind of difficult when you're talking about those two extremes like that. Like some women are just two extremes. You can't have a freak and she be a lady. Like that don't, but to me, I've been seeing stuff like Scandal, Mistresses on ABC. I watch that. And I'm starting to see these women that are hoes get glamorized, like Stevie J and the Jocelyn chick. He chose her, and with Peter Guns and that woman he was with for 13 years. He decides to marry some chick he known a year after he done been 13 years with this woman. That makes
married, has kids, has history.
Exactly.
See what y'all men do, Kareem? Just scumbag. He's such a scumbag. You lie about it. When I'm asking you to your face, you lie about it. What?
I'm glad
But yes, to me, yes, the hoes are winning. And I mean, I guess a lot of men, it's different now. Like, more women are being more open sexually than they were before. Like, it used to be all taboo. Sex used to be taboo with women. Now it's women going around feeling like I'm independent. I take care of myself. I got my own car, my own house. I just want some guy who's going to fuck me and then roll out. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you got a woman that's that carefree and men are meeting that and it's refreshing to them, so these are the chicks that they want to wife up. And I heard women in other countries are actually better in relationships anyway because they look at sexuality in their culture completely different. And with Peter Guns and this Amina chick, she's from Germany. She's a different kind of woman. So I think it's he could have married her to keep her in the country. You never know. She could have not had a green card or something like that. I don't know. You know, Peter's just an idiot to begin with. We know this. Okay, so I think a lot of these guys who didn't have father figures and didn't have matriarch type of stuff or patriarch type of stuff, this is the thing that they do. They leave the women that are there for them the most. And I tell people all the time, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't when you're a woman. If you stick with a guy and through his stuff, he ends up leaving you for somebody better. If you leave the nigga for doing stuff to you, you consider the bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, this bitch just left me while I'm down. So it's like, what is a black woman to do? What are we supposed to do? Kareem, help.
I don't necessarily think it's just black women.
Any woman that dates a black man.
Exactly.
I see. I'm out here in Arizona. I see a lot of Mexican guys and white guys doing the same thing. I think it's just universal. But I think I said this in our last interview, Jay Nice, is that sometimes subconsciously you don't want to do the things to your wife that or your girl, your main chick, that you would do to the jump off or to the filthy McNasty, to the hoe. And then you have the situations like your boy Trinidad James says, is that your side chick become your main chick because your main chick don't want you no more. You know, that's very, very, very true. So what do you do at that point? At that point, you done already lost the main chick, so you might as well just wipe up the jump off. You know she going. You know she knows she gonna get the threesomes popping. You know. You know she gonna suck you dry. You know.
Wait, you know what I think is gonna happen, Kareem, is that like I remember in one episode, Peter Gunz was saying that Amina is now becoming Tara. Like, you go, in my opinion, men love side chicks because they can escape the problems and the issues that they have with their wife, with their main chick. When you have a side chick, you don't have those problems. It's let's have sex, and that's it. You don't get to, oh, why didn't you do this? You don't hear any of that. But when you turn your side chick into the main chick, at some point, your side chick, whatever main chick, whoever, is gonna start having doing the same things that main chick was doing. If you finally make your side chick the main chick, at some point, I guarantee you, Peter's gonna cheat on, if he hasn't already, is gonna cheat on Amina, because Tara, he said in an interview, Tara used to be the side chick. He was messing with Tara while he was with some other girl. So it's just like a pattern. If these men, just like I'm sure Stevie J is going to be messing with somebody else, like now that Jocelyn has become his main chick, with the main chick comes those main chick problems. So I don't think it's a matter of, I just think it's you want that side chick as a form of escape, and when you don't have that anymore, you have to seek it in somebody else.
You know what this reminds me of? Before you guys, this reminds me of Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. Because wasn't Gabrielle Union a side chick?
Yeah.
He has a child by a side chick.
Yeah.
And I guess and she's gonna stick with him through this. And I guess she doesn't really have a choice because she was side chick before.
Mm-hmm.
So there goes another pattern right there.
I think she's pregnant now anyway. So.
Who, Gabrielle?
Yeah.
You know that lady he had a child by is the same jump off of Lamar Odom.
Oh,
No,
really?
that's not true. That's not true.
That's the same.
Lamar
chick
Odom jump off is a different chick.
No, he had 3. He didn't have 1. He had 3.
Yeah, I know the 3 of them.
No,
the side chick.
Not one of them.
Huh? No, it's neither one of them. The Wade's baby mom is like Damian Wade's or something, baby's mom.
Yeah, right. This is the same girl. She was the one that.
But she was. No, that's not the same chick that was with that dry snitched on Lamar Odom.
Oh no, I don't mean the one that's dry snitched. The one that because I remember it was one that was all over OK magazine. But this one, from among the articles I seen, this is the same girl from what I seen.
That's what they were saying is the same girl, but it's 2 different chicks. I'm telling you, it's 2 different chicks.
Mm.
One name is AJA, and then the other one is Sabrina.
I forgot you've been dealing with side chicks a lot lately. Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody got a story. I'm just here to report it. I'm just here to report it. That's it. But back to the question, I just think that maybe the solution to that problem would be maybe the main chick should be more, or if they could be more mystique and more role playing, and playing the role as the side chick and still playing the role as the main chick, so then that way you don't have to have 2 because you have one person playing multiple roles. It's kind of like the manager at Pizza Hut still working the make table making the pizzas, but he's still the manager, so he's playing 2 roles with 1 position. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Kind of like a solution to the problem, because I think that we have a lot of these problems but not a lot of solutions. Your camera went out, Jay.
No, I know. I'm just stretching for a second.
So yeah, that's my answer.